Dandavat Pranam. So we were reading Bhagavad Gita with commentary by Vedanta Acharya Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, and we have previously completed till chapter 1, shlok number 7, I guess. Yes, shlok number 7. We will start from shlok number 8. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jayah Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadattir Jayadhratah अन्ये च बहवः मदर्थ्ये त्यक्त्वा जीवितः नानाशस्त्रप्रहाराणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदः. Okay, so there are two shloka which states there are you Bhavan which means you, Dronacharya, Bhishma, Karna, Kripacharya, Samitim Jaya, they are all associated together. Ashwathama, Vikarna, Somadatt and Jayadrat, and Anyecha Bhavasura and many other with divine qualification. Madarthya Tyaktva Jivitaha. Mad Arthe, that means that for my sake, Tyakta Jivitaha, which means they can leave their body or they can sacrifice themselves for my sake. Nana Shastra Praharanaha Sarve Yuddha Visharada. So they are very much well versed in different kind of martial weaponry skills, and they are very much expert in fighting battles. Yuddha Visharada. So let's read the translation. So there are you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, troops of Drona, and others which are winners of wars. Ashwathama, Vikarna, Bhurishrava, Jayadratha, Saumadatte, which means Bhurishrava. There are also many other brave men who have given up their lives for my sake, skillful at fighting, armed with various missiles and weapons of close combat. Shastra and Astra. There are two classes of weapon used in our Vedic times. So, Shastra, if we talk about, so Shastra is nothing by close ranged weapon. Close ranged weapon. Just like sword, gada, etc. And if we talk about Astra, Astra are long range weapon. They are long range weapon. So therefore armed with various missiles, which means Astra, which should be long range, and weapons of close combat, which is Shastra. Bhavan refers to Drona. Vikarna was younger brother of Duryodhan. Saumadatti refers to Bhurishrava. Okay, Saumadatti refer to Bhurishrava. The troops of Drona and others are described as victorious in war. Samitim Jaya. Samitim, oh acha acha. Samitim Jayaha, which means that who are victorious. The troops, Samiti, which is Jayaha, which is victorious. These are only the outstanding persons on my side. There are also other warriors whose numbers cannot be counted. Anyecha, there are many Bahava, such as Jayadratha, Kritavarma, Shalya, who are determined to give up their lives for my sake, if necessary. Madarthya Tyaktva Jivita. My victory will be accomplished because of their intense affection for me, their intense courage, and their knowledge of fighting. So this is the hint in speaking. This is his hint in speaking. So here we can understand that first of all, Duryodhana is referring to all the personnel in his team who are well versed in combat, and so thus he is making Dronacharya. He thought that Dronacharya might be a little fearful on hearing about the opposition troops of the Pandavas. So therefore, in order to mitigate the fear, which was actually the inner fear of Duryodhan, he tried to compensate his fear by the help of the great fighters present uh, in his team. So therefore, and he also states that they are ready to give up their lives, tyaktva jivitaha, for my sake. So it is a very important connotation. So therefore, we can see that there are so many pious men who are ready to, like Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitamaha, and they are ready to give up their life for this unpious adharmic brat. So therefore, we can understand that those who would give the who would be in the part of the adharmic faction, then they would be punished by the Lord necessarily. Next shloka. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvaidam tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. So here it says aparyaptam. Aparyaptam, paryaptam means finite, or aparyaptam means infinite. Tad asmakam balam. Aparyaptam balam, that means infinite power we have, asmakam, our infinite power, through Bhishma virakshitah, which means we are protected, rakshitam, by Bhishma. We are protected by the infinite power of Bhishma Dev. And paryaptam tva idam tesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. And they are protected by the finite, the limited power, balam, of Bhima. So why in the whole team of the Pandavas troops, why Duryodhan just remembered or reminiscence about Bhima? It was because he was most fearful of Bhima, because Bhim was always his childhood counterpart, and um, he used to try any hook or crook in order to kill Bhim. But every time he used to survive by the grace of Lord Krishna. But in Bhima, he is referring that he has limited power, because it's all because of his inner fear which is lurking in his heart, but he is covering it up by telling all these boastful words. And in inner we can understand that he has a lot of fear of Bhima, and another reason that Bhima was the one who uh, you know uh, kept the message that I would be the he vowed that Bhima would kill Duryodhan in the battlefield. So therefore he was especially worried about and fearful about Bhima. So our army protected by Bhishma is immeasurable in the strength, but their army protected by Bhima is limited. But how can you achieve victory when the troops are equal on both sides? So here our Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu asks a very logical question, that in order to make Duryodhan believe that their troop will gain the final victory, he ought to say that he thought that how can we achieve victory when the troops are equal on both sides. So therefore he took some ideology, that we have Bhishma Pitamaha, who has strength in immeasurable quantity, but Bhima has a limited strength. So therefore, their troops are not equal. Our troop has a greater advantage of the great warriors like Bhishma Dev. So we have more troops. Our strength is immeasurable, aparyaptam, and is protected by Bhishma, who is most intelligent and an Atiratha. Well, he is forgetting about Arjuna, who is also Atiratha. The strength of the Pandava army is limited, paryaptam, being protected by Bhima, who has very little intelligence and is only an Ardharatha. Thus I will attain victory. Okay, so he thought that Bhima had little intelligence, but he forgot that he is protected by the Supreme Lord. Next, we have Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagam avasthita bhishmameva virakšanto bhavanta sarva eva hi, which means situated Ayaneshu cha sarveshu, situated in your position for entering the enemy flanks, which means the Vyuda. You should all protect Bhishma on all sides. So we can see that how Duryodhan we can see that how Duryodhan still has fear about his victory, though he's mentioned that previously he mentioned that Bhishma Dev's power is immeasurable, but he still has doubt in his final victory. Therefore, in order to create another lifeline, he asks his Bhritya soldiers to protect the Bhishma Dev, our main chief, in order to protect our victory when we would enter the enemy flanks. So protect Bhishma Dev on all sides. So he doesn't have the iron will or the iron belief system that Bhishma Dev is actually has immeasurable power. So he has some kind of doubt. So here the commentary states, if Drona understand the meaning of my word, he may become indifferent to fighting himself. So he thought that Dronacharya may think that, oh, only Bhishma Dev has immeasurable power, and what about me? So if he understand the meaning of my words, he may become indifferent to fighting himself. So this will damage my plan. Therefore, I will give him personal responsibility in the war. So therefore, he said that he would give him personal responsibility in the war, and that is nothing but you should protect Bhishma on all sides by staying in your position, which have been designated individually for entering into the ranks of the enemy troop. Ayaneshu. Act in this way so that he will not be attacked by others, since being absorbed in fighting, he will not be looking on the sides or behind. My victory will be accomplished while Bhishma, the general, is unaware of my arrangement. Okay, my victory will be accomplished while Bhishma the general is unaware of my arrangement. So he thought that if I tell it if I tell it in public that you should all protect Bhishma Dev, then Bhishma Dev might think that, oh, you don't have a belief in my prowess. So therefore, the victory of Duryodhan can be hindered by that thought. So therefore, act in this way so that, okay, since being absorbed in fighting, Bhishma Dev will be only focused on the warriors in the front, he thought. The intention is as follow. Bhishma is our grandfather, you are our teacher. You too I know to be my fervent well-wisher. For though you knew the injustice I did at the gambling match, you knew the injustice, you did not speak a word when Draupadi asked for justice. He thus made his request so that Drona would give up his trace of affection for the Pandavas that was still visible. So that's so dark mentality of Duryodhan. So the intention is as follows, that Bhishma is our grandfather. That's true. Bhishma Pitamaha. And you are our teacher. You too, I know to be a fervent well-wisher. Okay. So obviously, grandfather and teacher, they are well-wisher, but Duryodhan doesn't know that what is well-wishing. So for though you knew the injustice I did, so he also accepts that he had did some injustice in the gambling match. Did not speak a word. So they did not speak a word when Draupadi asked for justice. He thus made his request so that Drona would give up his trace of affection for the Pandavas that was still visible. So it was only in order to make Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama lose their affection for the Pandavas that was still visible in minuscule amounts. So we have read till this and we would continue. Today's date is 24/12/24 and we will read from the shlok number 12 in the next session.